Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Intelligence Racing League Division 2 Sprint Championship finale here, round 7 at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache, or I hope it's pronounced that way, otherwise known as Interlagos, here in Brazil for what should be a season finisher. We have Sabinho. He is leading the championship, 24 points ahead of Nuffle Bessie. All he has to do is wrap it up here tonight. It should be interesting. We've got Reckless leaving the pits. I'll get our other stuff up. Do let me know if you have any stuff. Look at that. The two McLarens leaving right beside our telemetry up. We keep our lap data up as well. Fitted tyres as well. Okay, give me 2 seconds. So this track was originally opened in 1940 and it has been involved in various guises. It has been used in Formula 1 since 1973 and its contract extends all the way until 2022. In 1976, I believe, it was renamed after Jose Carlos Pache, a Brazilian driver who unfortunately died in a plane crash. I think it was actually 1979 this happened. Yeah, it was renamed in 1979 and it was shortened from about 7.9 kilometers to just under 4 kilometers. Yes, thank you, Nuffle. I am back. Yeah, I apologise for last week. Unfortunately, couldn't make it to the penultimate round where you joined us in Singapore. Give me 2 seconds. I'll just increase the volume of the game a bit. It's a little bit quiet today. That should be a bit better. But if there's any issues, do let me know and I'll sort that out immediately. But we're going to ride on board with the Reckless as he heads through the first couple of turns now. Through the first looping turns, the sweeping turns of the Senna S's onto the Reta Oposta through the Descida de Lago. I'm sorry if there are any Brazilians here and I'm absolutely butchering these names. Towards Ferradura into turn 7 and 8. Heavy braking then into this hairpin kind of thing. Down the hill towards Pinheirinho, my favourite name in all of F1. Back up the hill through turn 10 into turn 11. Braking again into Bico do Pato. Towards Magulho, something like that. This flat out left-hander. Then the final braking zone of Junsao. On to the main straight through Arquibancadas of turns 14 and 15. This is where we saw Hamilton and Pierre Gasly have a race to the line during the real-life Grand Prix. Extremely fast into the pit lane there from Reckless. That is interesting, but we have Nuffle Bessie. He's going to be the first driver to... he's going to be taking the leaderboard, sorry. He's on a 108.6 on those soft tyres. Some drivers going for mediums. Jerome, it looks like, has gone onto the hard. So an interesting strategy there. Otapa, Alt Maverick, and one Xavier on the mediums. The other drivers looking to go softs and mediums. So it looks like it might just be Jerome on the hards. That's how it's looking anyway. You've got Skeletor Star here. He's heading through this left-hander at the bottom of the track now. He's on an outlap though. We'll go up to Niels and Killer Brent, the two Ferraris. Brent just heading through these bottom turns here, however. Coming through this lower section of the track then in Sector 2. Up towards Bico do Pato. And towards Magulho, then Yunsao. And back onto that very long main straight. Yes, we're going to have a dry qualifying and race. Thank you very much, Reckless. Thank you, Jav. Oh, but look at that. That's Nils. I'll take my eyes away for a second. He's gone off at turn 13, it looks like. That is not a good start for the Ferrari driver. He's not going to be too happy about that as his teammate Killer Brent drives past as well. We've got quite a lot of cars out on track this afternoon. 17 out of 20 possible drivers. And this track also has one of the longest pit lanes in Formula 1, if you include the bit before and the bits after the actual pit lane itself. It now comes out halfway through the Senna S's, but we've got a Haas there. Is that Calvin? No, it's not at all, I believe. Yes, here he is. He's on the hard tyres. Still, though, so it looks like he's still going for it on these hards. It's an interesting strategy. if he gets into the top 10, he'll be starting on them, but he's won them a fair amount, as we're already a third of the way through the qualifying session. And speaking of qualifying, we had the first qualifying session in Formula 1 in over 6 months, actually. Nearly, more like 7.5 months. Maybe even 8 months. It's been a long time, but we have actually finally got some real Formula 1 action back. Mercedes seem to be in their usual place, top of the order. Slightly frustrating. Let's hope that Red Bull can bring them a fight tomorrow. Of course, Max had that very interesting strategy on the mediums. He managed to pull it off, though. And Ferrari having an absolutely abysmal start to the season, it looks like. And there goes Skeletal Star, just missing out on those 1 minute 08. He's on a 09 for now. Track temps may be quite important during this qualifying session. We don't want the drivers to overheat tyres, but we will be in for a dry race, which isn't... I'd say it's actually more typical for it to rain around this circuit than not. But yeah, as I was saying, Nuffle Bessie, he's 24 points behind Sabinio in the championship. That's quite a hefty gap. Sabinio, all he has to do to round up tonight is score 3 more points than that McLaren. He's on 109 points. Behind him is 85 points. Then we've got Nuffle Bessie and Invisible. They've got their battle to sort out as Reckless there goes fastest, a 1:08.0. Very, very fast. There goes his teammate as he does go straight off at the centre. S's all. That's a big moment there for Nuffle Bessie, who's still fighting for the championship. That's going to cost him his lap time. We've got United Bosnia here in the Red Bull heading along the bottom straight. Now, I like to call it the bottom straight because it's the bottom of the track. But yeah, we've got Invisible and Nuffle Bessie. They've got to sort out their battle as well. There's only what looks to be... Oh no, there's a fair amount of points between them. Never mind. We've got Kieran and Stumpy. They've got a bit of a battle between themselves. That's a difference of about 4 points there. Although I don't think Kieran's racing tonight. No, the Ferraris are both taken up by reserve drivers. So we'll have a look at the end of the race. There will, of course, be stewards' inquiries. Hello, Calvin, as well. Get back on track. No, joking. You're on your outlap now anyway. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. We could see this man take the checker flag tonight. Remember, he only needs to score 3 more points to be completely safe. I mean, to be honest, what actually needs to happen is Nuffle Bessie needs to score 3 more... Yeah. Nuffle Bessie needs to basically win the race. Yeah, he has to win the race without Sabinio finishing, or Sabinio finishing out of the points to win the championship. Now, that's going to be very difficult. And I think all Sabinio really needs to do is just get it to the end. Because so long as... Or actually, if Nuffle Bessie gets a fastest lap as well, that'll give him 26 points, which will put him 2 points ahead. So that would mean Sabinio would have to finish 9th or above. However, if Nuffle Bessie doesn't get fastest lap, then Sabinio will only have to finish 10th, because I believe, because he's already leading the championship, if it's a draw, he wins. Unless it's done by races won, which could be interesting. I'm not entirely sure. Although we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I know that the Division 1 race will be going on at the same time as this as well. Those calculations, of course, basically a walking mathematician. But yeah, we've got Division 1 happening at the same time as this. Of course, we were delayed slightly in the start. Well, not delayed, but the race itself was delayed due to the qualifying session of Real Formula 1 held earlier today. And we're going to be heading to the virtual world tonight before tomorrow's race, which I'm sure almost all of you watching now will be watching tomorrow, unless for some reason you can't make it. But I'm hoping for a Max win. But we got to stick with the race at hand, because remember, this is the championship decider. It's been a short season. Remember, it's only a sprint championship. This is the 7th round. Usually, we would only be 1/3 of the way through the championship, but no. This is the 7th round of the championship. And a lot to be decided as there goes Storm into the pit lane. Just having a look around. It looks like... Oh, Maverick might be on a hot lap. He's on the softs now. It looks like everyone's going on to the softs. So clearly, they look to be the best tyres to be starting on. I'm not sure what the strategy is. Will it be a soft, medium, medium? Or a soft to hard, maybe, if someone's feeling brave enough? We'll see what the alt strategy is tonight. Please excuse the pun. That was not intended in any way, shape or form. But there's yellow flags in sectors 2 and 3. I think that's just a slow driver letting other people go through, which is fair enough. But anyway, up the hill we go. Past Pinarino, towards turn 10, down to 11 and 12. Excuse me. I'm hoping this remote doesn't run out of battery while I'm commentating. Oh, dearie me. That is bad news for the Renault. I'm not quite sure what happened there, to be honest. He's been very lucky in keeping it out of the barrier. In fact, he's practically reversed into there as if he was parallel parking, but towards the line goes Niels. Right on the edge of that ERS, down to 0% as he crosses the line. Although he's actually slower that lap, so that's clearly not been all too successful. I'm going to have a quick rewatch of what just happened to Maverick. If you give me 2 seconds. So he's just heading up the hill. And yeah, he just does that fat spin. Quite neat, I'm going to say. That's a very neat slide if you're going to do a slide. But here comes Skeletor Star towards the line. Currently on a 109.1. A 108.8. That's going to put him up into 7th place. That's an improvement of about 0.3 of a second. Not too shabby. Sabinho, though, the man fighting for the championship. He's about to go off on a hot lap. The two McLarens locking out the front row for now. As here comes Nuffle Bessie. He's going to be behind Sabinho. We'll go to Sabinho, though, watching him on his hot lap as he heads towards the... No, he's on an in lap, actually, going into the pits. This could be interesting. With only 5.5 minutes to go, the drivers are going to have to start their final laps sooner rather than later. I suspect Bessie will be heading into the pits as well. He's on ERS mode 0 and he's low on fuel. I think Paulus has just ascended up the order there with a 108.4. So, yeah, he's very... In fact, he's just... Looks like 0.7 of a second quicker, slower than Paulus. Between Invisible and Paulus. So, yeah, very, very close between those two drivers. There, we got Skeletor Star here. He'll be coming in at the end of the lap. But towards the line goes TTG Storm across it. And he's improved by 0.04 of a second, but no positions to be gained. There, you've got Civi here. He's in 12th place currently, heading towards the lower end of the circuit. Now, one of the reasons this track is so good is because instead of being built on flat land, a bit like Silverstone, for example, which is built around what used to be an airbase. It's bad luck, made a couple of mistakes. There's still time to try and improve Skeletor. And I think you might be doing just that, although those softs... Oh no, you're going into the pits now. Good luck on your lap. But here is Civi. Where was I? Oh yes, this track, instead of being built like Silverstone, around an old airbase, a repurposed airbase, which kind of has to be flat because, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't fancy landing a plane on a hill. I wouldn't have experience on that, though, so I don't know. I'm not a pilot, as much as I would like to be one. Here's Jordan JT. But yeah, this track is very hilly. It means there's lots of uphill braking zones, lots of downhill braking zones, and lots of work for the engine and for the brakes, providing perfect opportunities for lunges down the inside, trying to send it around the outside. There's all sorts of combinations of moves that can be made tonight, and it's quite a short lap as well, so we'll have quite a few of them. As here is Jordan JT. He looks to be slowing down then on that lap. Having a look around, we've got TTG Storm. He's just finishing a lap, I believe. He's in 5th place now. Invisible just leaving the pits, it looks like. Actually, no. Now, it looks to be a Red Bull, but we've got to here Reckless. Yep, he's on a hot lap now. Let's keep an eye out on that top right as he heads through Sector 2. This could be very interesting. Down towards Pinarino and back up the hill now. That exit's also important. Can he get into the 107s? He's having to navigate traffic. That was a racing point there. That may have been of Storm, I believe. Yes, it looks like it was. Most people are in the pits. They'll be coming out on their out laps soon enough, though. Although, luckily for them, it's not the longest lap in the world, which means they can get around quite quickly, and they can leave it quite late, as there we go towards the line, keeping it right tucked into the inside. It's going to be a 108.00. Fantastic there, as Storm does retire from the session. That's rather interesting. I think he's retired anyway. Oh no, that's yeah, Storm has. I'm not quite sure what happened to that McLaren there. We've got Civi there, and Niels on a hot lap. He's heading through the Senna S's now, actually just on the exit towards the next few turns. The yellow flags in sector 2. I don't think that's anything too dramatic. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. I seem to have lost my track map. Here we go. That's on my phone now. There's not on the game. I'm just got to remember the names of the turns, if you know what I mean. Oh dear. Plug keeps falling out of my pad. Anyway, here is Niels. He's heading towards the line now. He's currently on a 1092. He's now on the soft tyres. I can't remember what tyres he did that first lap on, as he heads towards the line now on this still packed order along the straight ERS mode 5. Jerome retiring from the session, and across the line goes Niels. He's actually 2 seconds up there. I'm not entirely sure. Rectus retiring from the session. He's not going to be going out on another lap. We've got Civi here. His teammate Sabinho looking to win the championship this evening. Just heading through the bottom section of the track now into sector 2. So we'll head back to Civi now. Civi going up the hill once again before going down towards turn 12. And back out onto the power for turns 13, 14 and 15. Flat out from here, going all the way onto the curb on the left. Just maximising that speed. It can be very risky to have a drift through here. Although I have seen drivers previously manage to pull one off, and it does look good. No pressure though, guys. And he ascends above Jordan JT on the leaderboards there. That's going to be 11th place for now. He's got 24 seconds if he wishes to go for a second lap. It looks like he might be trying that though. We've got Nuffle Bessie. He's just heading towards Pinarino now. Up the hill then through turn 10 towards turn 11 now. Let's see what this McLaren can do. Can he take that pole position off of his teammate? It's going to be hard to get into the 107s. Is it possible? This is going to be very close. Heading through the final couple of turns now though. Let's see what Bessie can do. This will be interesting, and towards the line, Skeletor Star retired from the session. Here we go then, and it's going to be the checkered flag. Nuffle Bessie does not improve. Let's have a look around. It looks like we've got a Williams heading towards the line of Jordan JT. Across he goes. Will he take back that position from Civi? No, he won't. We've got the Ferrari of Killer Brent. He's in the pits. We've got Niels here, but it looks like original Civi. He's going to be heading to the line first. He'll be followed by what looks like a Haas behind him. No, he's going to go into the pits. We've got Maverick here. He's just starting a lap. In fact, he's already done the lap he wants to do, as out of the way moves Storm. This is Sabinho fighting for the championship. Let's see where he qualifies, as across the line he goes. It's going to be a 108.3, putting him in 3rd place, just behind Nuffle Bessie. The 2 championship rivals. That's going to be a good starting place for him. Pretty safe, just behind those 2 McLarens. Let's see what he can do from that position, as last across the line will be Niels. In fact, no, it won't. He's going to go into the pit lane, bringing an end to our session. Let's just have a cheeky look at these comments then, in practice. I mean, yeah, all changes. Qualifying not equal race pace. Qualifying's all about 1 lap pace. Race pace has been consistently fast and consistently on the track. And notice that Paulus and Invisible still equally as close as they were earlier. But yeah, that is the checkered flag to our qualifying session as we head towards a dry race. One of few that we experience here at Sao Paulo, at least in the game anyway. There we go then. You can see the city in the background. Quite a dramatic qualifying session, but the order is going to be Reckless on pole. Lined up next to him will be the McLaren of his teammate of Nuffle Bessie. Sabinho will be starting alongside Paulus with Invisible and TTG Storm right behind them on the third row. The fourth row will have United Bosnia and the Renault of Frosty Calvin, the fifth being Killer Brent and Skeletor Star. On the sixth row will be Original Civvy and Jordan JT. The seventh will have Niels and Maverick, the eighth Otapa 8 and Jerome with one Xavier just behind them. Yeah, Rex an absolutely blistering lap there. A 108.0 that Skeletor Star seems to have been able to pull. Now, they say it's going to be a dry race. Looking at the clouds though, they do look pretty ominous. Could we be in for rain at some point during this race? Could the forecast have changed? Maybe Jeff has been lying. We'll find out soon enough. But first, we'll be waiting for the drivers to finalise their strategy. And I like how we aren't able to see how long till the session starts. Nope, can't see it at all. But yeah, the drivers will be finalising their strategy, maybe making one or two adjustments to their setup. Because they only really can do a couple of adjustments to their setup. Because of Parc Fermé regulations. Here we go then, heading out on the formation lap, trying to get those tyres and brakes warmed up. Now I remember watching FP1 yesterday, and the cars clearly haven't been driven in a while. Now clearly fresh brakes, because as Romain Grosjean braked into the hairpin at the top of the hill, you saw this almighty puff of carbon just go straight out of his wheels, and it was like a black cloud. For a moment I thought he had actually had some kind of mechanical failure, but no, it was just the brake pads being broken in, which is quite a spectacular sight, to be honest. It's not something you see that often, to be honest, in racing, although you do see it in endurance racing when they have to do those brake changes. Royder van der Bondevort there supporting Paulus at Sao Paulo. His name almost matching the city. Let's see what he can do here. Starting from fourth, not too bad. The two McLarens though, front row lockout. It's boding well for these drivers. Maybe Reckless or Bessie can get one final win to round off the season. I don't know though, as the formation lap is almost already over. Just going to show how short a lap is around this circuit. The legend Roy, says Lars van der Heuvel. Or presumably sounding like that. So you can't count on me though. Now, Invisible hasn't won a race this season. Let's see what Reckless has done. Reckless has won one race. Sabinho has only won one, but Nuffle Bessie has won two. Can he make it three? We'll have to wait and see. Can he get a hat-trick this season of just 7 rounds? Let's get ready to race. "36 laps here at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache. It's going to be 4, 5 red lights are out and away we go. It looks to be a good start for the two McLarens. Down the inside, Nuffle Bessie having a look as we head through the centre S's. He's going to have to back off. Sabinho trying to send it around the outside as Reckless is off the track. Now it's going to cost him at least one position, maybe two. Let's ride on board with Sabinho as he head through down this straight. This will be DRS in just 2 laps time. Reckless having a look back down the inside of his teammate. They touch once again. Nuffle Bessie side by side. He has another crack at his teammate as we head up the hill then. Can Sabinho get that position? Nuffle Bessie and Reckless having a real tussle. Those two teammates really battling for a win. This is their final chance. Nuffle does need to win this to have any chance at actually winning the championship. He's going to be battling tooth and nail for the win here. As back down the order, we've got a Haas making an absolute lunge here. I think that might be a Jerome on Jordan JT. Although Civi has just about got the exit on him, we're going to head back up to the top because Nuffle Bessie is right up the gearbox of Reckless. As we head back along the straight, already one lap down, 35 more to go. This is an absolutely tremendous start to a Grand Prix. Look at this, the slipstream really helping. Nuffle Bessie's going to move to the outside. Reckless setting the fastest lap as around the outside we go. Into turn 1, through turn 2, be the inside. There's big contact! And that was nearly a crash for Nuffle Bessie, but he's taken the lead of the Grand Prix here. Sabinho now, he might have a decent exit. Reckless so closing up on his teammate. These two teammates, the McLaren's really fighting for the battle, having a sniff of the inside line. We've got Sabinho really making himself present behind that second place car of Reckless, and now he's got a decent run as they go up the hill. Sabinho's going to have to back off there. Go for goal, Paulus. All money rides on Paulus. This could be interesting. He's currently in 8th place. It's not been the greatest start for him. I'm not quite sure what happened as he head out of Pinarino up the hill. What a dramatic opening few laps. Jam, I'm surprised you're even trying to keep up with one. I can only guess what's happening over at Division 1. Those guys will be fighting as well. All to win, nothing to lose really. Apart from a championship in this league, potentially. I'm not sure what the situation is in Division 1. But there we go, Nuffle Bessie with the fastest lap. We've got Killer Brent on United Bosnia down the inside. He has a look. And that's the fastest lap, I think, for Brent as well. He's up 2 positions since the start of the Grand Prix. Calvin and Civi must have had a collision, though, because they're both really far down. But look at the exit the Ferrari has. Moving to the inside. DRS to help him. He's going to have a go under braking. Can he get the position? Yes, he can. United Bosnia, though, he's going to have a look back. But he can't quite get that position. It looks like Brent just about had the speed on the exit as we have some nice lens flare on this onboard camera. What a move there by Brent. Oh, and there's contact. I think Bosnia may have miscalculated his braking point there. We've got Invisible here just heading up the hill. He's currently in 3rd in the championship. He's looking to stay there. And yeah, you can see Calvin and Civi both having had to have front wing changes already. Lap 3. Let's have a quick look at what tyre they have gone onto. One onto hards, one onto mediums. I wonder if those hards can take it to the end. Sabinho, though, with the fastest, making himself present once more. As we are looking to the back of Invisible. Sabinho, he's in that top 3, but he's not on top of it, where I'm sure he'd like to be right now. Although we still do have a fair amount of race distance to go. Reckless has got off the track, it looks like. Sabinho's going to get that position. Can Storm as well. Reckless really blocking the racing point. Heading up the hill. Can Storm send it down the inside? Yes, he does. Onto the grass. What a move there by Storm. It has not been going well for Reckless because he's got Invisible as well. Trying to go for the switchback as they get through turn 9 of Pinarino. Up the hill towards turn 10. Into turn 11. What on earth happened to the McLaren there? I'm not quite sure. Sabinho's going to be pleased though, because now the battle for the championship rages between the two at the top of the order. You couldn't expect more than this, could you? Oh, no, sorry. I don't think you could have expected anywhere near this level, because we've got Killer Brent on Invisible now with the DRS, ERS and Slipstream. Sabinho with another faster step down the inside under the braking. Very, very late. Invisible has to go round the outside. It will be the inside line for the exit, but Killer Brent tried to get the switchback. Can he quite make it? It is so close between these two drivers. They both have DRS. Invisible from Reckless and Brent from Invisible, and that has just about saved Invisible there. I think that DRS really was the saving grace. Now I've got Skeletor Star really close behind Bosnia. Bosnia did run wide through there. Skeletor Star does have a look down the inside. Can he pull it off? No, he can't. United Bosnia really blocking that line. They've got two very different racing lines through there. Killer Brent, though, as we can see, just ahead, getting the move. He's side by side with Reckless. Reckless is off the track into the barrier, and then is Reckless out of the Grand Prix. Our first DNF That was really, really big. Safety car is being brought out, and I don't think anyone really expected any less of a response to that. Now, what will be interesting, Nuffle Bessie, will he go into the pits and potentially swap tyres? Reckless clearly not too happy about that, as into the pits goes Reckless now. My goodness. Invisible staying out on track, maybe looking for the position, the on-track position as a result of the safety car brought out, unfortunately, by Reckless's DNF. I feel sorry for you, Reckless. Okay, so what happened there was Reckless was side by side with I think it was Killer Brent, as we went through Pinarino. They were locking wheels, and a moment later, Reckless went aeroplane status and flew into the barrier, which is a really big shame to end the season in such a way, having been quite a prominent driver in it, having got pole position really fast around this track. It is a big shame to see that, but let's have a quick look here. So the top three deciding not to stop. Let's see what tyres they're on. Okay, so soft, medium, soft. Very, very interesting call, I think, there. I'd have thought that this would be the perfect time to change tyres. Unless I'm wrong, but I have to say this is good news for Calvin and Civi, because that means they're going to be able to catch back up to the pack behind the safety car. It is a peculiar strategy, though, to stay out on the softs. Number 19 of Invisible leading us round behind the safety car. Very intriguing decision. I'd like to see how this strategy plays out towards the end of the race, actually. Yeah, what a dramatic opening few laps. We're only a sixth of the way through the Grand Prix as we head on to lap 7 now. Once Xavier goes into the pits then, maybe he was just too late. Maybe he just about missed the pit lane. But I think he was the driver already on the softs. No. Jerome was on the softs. Once Xavier was on the, no, Jerome's on the mediums even. Xavier's on the soft, so maybe the safety car was brought out just as they passed the pit lane. That doesn't explain Invisible and Jerome deciding not to pit. Very interesting indeed. You can see the ERS on that steering wheel is all the way to the max. He didn't want to be stuck behind Jordan. Okay. Fair enough. That is going to cost one Xavier all of the positions he will have gained so far. That's going to put him right at the back of the order of these 16 cars. One DNF so far, the cause of this safety car. As we head back down the hill, the safety car will probably be coming in at the end of lap 8 and will be underway immediately after, with 3/4 of the Grand Prix remaining at that point. Yeah, that was a very dramatic... Oh no, safety car in this lap. Okay then, let's get ready to rumble. Invisible, very late call there from the stewards. Invisible though will be backing up the pack all the way. Look how close they are going to be. And he goes, he's gone. Let's see what the other drivers do. Nuffle, Bessie and Sabinio. That is the battle we're looking out for. Can Nuffle get Jerome in between himself and his championship rival? Heading into the centre S as he has a look down the inside. Jerome with a massive front left lockup. That's bad news for Nuffle. That's compromised his line severely. Sabinio will be trying to get it on the exit as we've got positions changing here. Killer Brent on the back of TTG Storm in that racing point. We're going to have to go up to Nuffle Bessie though, because he is really, really close behind Jerome. It looks like it's Maverick and Niels having a really big fight there. Good luck to the lads racing, and I'll not launch F1 2019 ever again. Fair enough. I mean, F1 2020 is literally around the corner, so you can't really blame you. But here we go then. Nuffle Bessie and Sabinio. Really, really interesting battles here. Storm caught up as well, so is Jerome going to be a robot for Nuffle Bessie? I know Nuffle, he's on those hard tyres. Savinio's on those hard tyres. Nuffle as well electing to go to the hard, so it looks like they're going to be trying to go to the end of the Grand Prix. As there's yellow flags in Sector 3, that looks like Paulus and Civi once again. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Civi back off the track. It is not good for him. It has been a really poor evening. As look at this. This is not a great line for Savinio. Storm, he's going to have a look around the outside now with DRS to assist him on the straight. Savinio taking a defensive inside line. Storm has got miles an hour of speed. Around the outside they go, they touch. Is that Storm gone round? No, it's not. There was only a light love tap there. Killer Brent, though, is right behind Savinio. He nearly takes out the championship leader. This is dramatic stuff. That could have been really bad for the Toro Rosso driver. And it could have been good news for Nuffle Bessie, but I know Savinio will be cursing behind his wheel. He does not want to be in the situation where he could get spun at any moment. He wants to take that 69 car all the way to the checkered flag. He's not going to be able to do it if he keeps getting hit. Now, admittedly, he wasn't leaving too much room, but Brent was right up his diffuser. Really not leaving a moment of space as Paulus. Oh, there's big contact. Paulus, he's out of the race. He's hit Frosty Calvin. And as that happens, I thought I saw a speck of rain, but that is really, really bad news. Virtual safety car has been brought out. That was a humongous crash there. Big collision as they went onto the main straight. Really, really not good for those two drivers. Now the two Renaults are at the back of the grid, but the virtual safety car is back in. We're going to go racing again. Storm on Nuffle Bessie. I mean, Storm could be in for a net lead of the Grand Prix. Those two in front have yet to pit. Storm is in a very good position at this point in time. He could be going for the win this evening. I want to keep an eye out though, because I can't tell if there are raindrops on the screen or not. I think there might actually be some kind of rain coming. I might just be being an idiot, which is very possible in all fairness, but I do think there may be a spot of rain here or there, which could be very interesting. We're predicted a dry race though, so let's not speculate too much, but look at that. TTG Storm doing a fantastic job there, all the way up in a net second position, definitely going for a podium, could be going for the win as well. I mean, these guys really can't separate themselves from each other. That gap just not able to increase or decrease. So far though, 2 DNS of Paulus and Reckless. Unfortunately, that money on Paulus that Roy put. Someone else is going to be walking away a bit richer this evening than you. But here we go then, Storm heading up the hill and then back down it again. But yeah, really, really dramatic stuff going on here as they head back along the straight. Nuffle will be looking to get past Jerome and Invisible though, because that is going to be severely slowing him down. But I mean, Savinio, he's dropping back a fair amount. That gap in front of him, over a second now, he's out of DRS range, and that's severely going to hamper his lap times. I mean, Nuffle and Storm both going to be getting DRS because they're following each other. Well, Storm's following Nuffle, and then Nuffle's following Jerome. So that means they've got DRS, and they can start trying to pull away from Savinio. But of course, because they're behind Jerome, they're only limited by his pace. As Invisible has got a fair amount of pace. He's beginning to pull away from Jerome. He's extended that gap to over a second. Now Savinio is beginning to close up again behind Storm. He has got Killer Brent behind him though, as that's a 3-second time penalty there for Jordan JT. Multiple warnings. Quite easy to extend around here though. It's not the easiest track to extend around us. It looks like Bosnia lost that place to Alt Maverick. Looks like that must have been a good move that we just about missed the end of there. But look at this, Nuffle Bessie still trying to get past the Haas. He is really struggling as we approach 1/3 of the way through the Grand Prix. I mean, if we didn't have lap counts, I could probably guess about how far we were through the Grand Prix anyway, because I can gauge by the amount of water left in my glass how much time we have left. But here we go. Nuffle Bessie, he's going to get past Jerome. Oh my goodness, pulling back in very, very late. That was quite risky there. But now he's put a chicane, a moving chicane between himself and Storm, although that chicane looks to have made a mistake and Storm's going to sail past. So not ideal for Nuffle Bessie. Not what he was planning. Oh, look at that! Storm! What was he thinking? He's really hit the side of that Haas. He's got damage. That's going to be calamity for him. Sabinho should be able to get past quite easily now. It looked like Jerome left him plenty of room, although we didn't have the greatest angle there. I think Storm outbraked himself into the Haas, but he's got front left damage. We saw his end plate go flying across the track. Sabinho should be able to get past now. He's got a fresh front wing. Yeah, that was a front right for Storm. Big, big damage as we head through towards Junsao now. A bit of a run there. Otapa and Niels having a bit of a scuffle. A bit lower down than this, as you can see them just coming through Junsao now. But yeah, Sabinho, he's going to head around Storm. Storm's going to go into the pit lane to get that front wing change. Now, let's see how close Storm is in relation to Nuffle Bessie. I mean, Jerome's really not had a good one out of that. He's lost loads of positions and he's getting time penalties as well. You saw him get forced all the way off track. That gap all the way up to 1.5 seconds though between Nuffle Bessie and Sabinho. This is the time for one of the drivers to push. Or both of them, really. I mean, Sabinho's going to be trying to get that gap to under 1 second, and Nuffle Bessie's going to have to try and keep it over a second, because the moment he has DRS is the moment he poses a real threat. Now, I have to say, Bosnia and Alt Maverick seem to be having an absolute cracker of a battle down there. Look at this! On the exit of the centre S's, can Maverick get that off Bosnia? He's going to have the DRS. He's going to move to the outside as they head down the hill. Then there's a bit of contact. Oh, and that's the Red Bull. I feel like that may be the end of that battle there. There's yellow flags in Sector 2. Yeah, that was the contact there. Bosnia just hit at the front, sent him slightly wrong. And look at that sportsmanship there by Maverick. You've got to respect him for that, returning the position. I mean, they're not really in a battle with anyone else. Storm's quite far up the road, but you've got to respect Maverick for that, returning the position after that contact. That's nice to see. That really does bring a smile to my face. We're going to head down to Otapa, or rather up to Otapa and Skeletor. That Mercedes versus the Alfa Romeo. Speaking of Alfa Romeo, they don't seem to be looking too strong in real life this season. Or maybe that was just other circumstances that led to that. But look at this. Otapa's also trying to break that slipstream to Niels behind him. And I noticed that Sabinho is catching up to Nuffle Bessie rather quickly. That gap now down to under or just over half a second. It's literally halved since we last looked at it. There's yellow flags in Sector 1. That's Alt Maverick out of the race. He's left the session. Let's see what's happened here. We're going to ride on board with his teammate. I think he retired in the pit lane. Does he feel that bad for hitting Bosnia? That's really peculiar. I'd love to know why Maverick has decided to retire. It looks like he retired in the pit lane to try and cause as little disruption as possible. But look at this, Niels on Otapa. Can he get that position? There's yellow flags in sectors 1 and 2 now. So that's going to bring an end to that little battle there. But yeah, Alt Maverick out of the race. That's a big shame, but adding to another one. Track him up. Yeah, we'll get that up right away. Yellow flags in sector 2. Yeah, we're going to definitely need it. Green flag being waved again. So that's just through here. Look at this, though. This is a fantastic map. That's the, I think, Alt Maverick. I don't know, actually, what's happened there. I just saw a Renault go off the track. Is that Calvin? No, it's not that. That is Alt Maverick. But that's peculiar as the Williams have a big move. What's that team orders? That looks a bit like Fernando is faster than you for Xavier and Jordan. Interesting. I mean, Xavier wants us to get away from Jordan, which is why he didn't pit. That hasn't been too successful, though, as he is now back with Jordan once again. We'll head back up to this battle though, because this is really interesting. Niels on Otapa. The battle for 7th position rages on, but I fear we're going to have to go up to Sabinio and Nuffle Bessie. Sorry about that, but this is the battle for the net lead of the Grand Prix. I mean, Invisible has yet to pit. That's already halfway. Now, I'm sorry, but has Invisible taken those sort of 16 laps? Oh my goodness. So, clearly, those mediums can probably make it to the end of the Grand Prix as Sabinio goes a bit wide there. There's yellow flags. Who's that? That's original Civi once again having an issue as he nearly collides with Storm as he rejoins the track. But it's been a decent day for one for one Toro Rosso. Not good for the other though. Civi really struggling around this track, it looks like. Sabinio doing well though, you've got to admit. He's fighting for the win here. But I mean, it's an incredible job there for Invisible to take this off 16 laps. So maybe, and he's still got pace as well. That's the other thing. He's 4 seconds clear of Nuffle Bessie as he does finally go into the pits. And not a moment too soon. As here we go then. Sabinio does have an attempt at Nuffle, but Nuffle just had a bit more straight line speed. Maybe running slightly less downforce on that McLaren could be one of the causes. As we head along the straight now. Storm there with a 1:11.1. Fastest lap so far. So even though he had that issue earlier, he's still got a fair amount of pace in that racing point. Now we are back to normal proceedings as it's a 5-second penalty there for Civi. It has just not been his race tonight, has it? But yeah, we are back to our regular proceedings. Everyone has done their mandatory pit stop. And now this is truly racing to the end. As we reach the halfway point now, heading through these final couple of turns. And yes, I mean, Sabinio really trying to get past Nuffle Bessie, the two championship rivals. Of course, constructors as well. That's something I haven't thought of. So, if Nuffle finishes where he is, will that be the McLaren Constructors? He's currently on 85 points. Oh, Skeletal Star getting a time penalty there. Sorry, I've got to keep one eye on the board and one eye on down here. So 85 plus 42. That's 127 points. The Toro Rosso will be 109. 110. So yeah, I think if Nuffle finishes first or second, he should be able to clinch that Constructors' Championship. If it's between Toro Rosso and the McLaren, which I assume it is. A lot of points there for the McLaren team. They can bring it home. I mean, it'd be even better for them with a win, but I think Sabinio would like to round off the championship as well with a win. So, two very good reasons for either driver to try and get that top step this afternoon. Stroke evening, I mean, we started at 4 o'clock today, so I think we're approaching the evening. It's going to be roughly 5 o'clock around about now. City gets a 3-second time penalty. It's just going worse and worse for him. But yeah, I think we can safely call it... Oh, we can't call it evening yet. We've got 7 minutes till it's technically evening, in my opinion, anyway. But here comes Sabinio on Nuffle Bessie. Still unable to get that position. I feel like this is a battle that we're going to see right until the end. Now, judging by the fact that those softs went so far for Invisible, who's currently in 8th now, his teammate in 5th. I wonder if those mediums would have made it to the end as well, had these guys chosen to go into them. And could that have really made a difference to their strategies? Because that was 16 laps, that was nearly half distance for those softs. So if they decide to extend, I understand that it was under the safety car, but even so, those mediums may well have made it to the end. Even at that point in the Grand Prix, so... I might be wrong there. Yeah, I'll bring up tyres and penalties right away. Okay, ooh, look at this. Sabinio's still very close. Oh, look at penalties in 2 seconds. because I think these guys are slightly too close, as Nils gets a 5-second time penalty. His teammate there just behind these guys, battling away with Jerome as Invisible overtakes Nils. Nils in the pits as Killer Brent also gets a time penalty. Invisible sets the fast lap 1:11.0. So Invisible looks to be really, really fast this evening. 3 seconds off the pole position pace. Okay, now's going to be our time to have a look. Nuffle Bessie has 1 times penalties. Savinio has a clean sheet almost. He has 1 warning. So actually, as long as Savinio stays within 3 seconds, I notice Nuffle Bessie has a lot of warning. So he might even be on his final warning now. Savinio, however, is only on 1 warning, and that means that he's in a prime position right now. He doesn't actually have to overtake, does he? All he has to do is stay within 3 seconds of Nuffle Bessie, not get any penalties, and he'll win this evening. But he's still going to have a go at the on-track battle as well, which is good to see. Because look how evenly matched they are. They've been like this for God knows how many laps. But yes, they're still battling. He's got Skeletal Star and Invisible having a little bit of a battle. Look at that though, Invisible. Oh no, Skeletal Star actually in the pits. That explains it a bit more. And just behind this, we've got the Haas of Drone battling the Ferrari of Killer Brent. There's yellow flags in Sector 2. Not entirely sure what the cause of that is, as my dog has invaded the commentary box. Hello. And he's going to leave the door open, so that's going to disturb the rest of my family, which I'm sure they'll be pleased about. And John JT overtakes Storm. Ooh, look at that. John JT having a bit of a battle with Storm, and looks like Nils is joined along for the ride as he goes into the back of Jordan JT. That could have been bad, but I know that Storm has a lot of speed. And I think my dog's about to have a mad moment. I hope not. No, leave. Sorry, he's trying to steal stuff. There's yellow flags in sectors 3 and 1. Interesting. Frosty Calvin, though, is out of the race. That's... what? I think he's retired in the pit lane. That's what it looks like. His car is in the pit lane anyway. But yeah, that's a double McLaren DNF. As along the straight, the Jordan JT gets overtaken by Nils. However, Jordan does pull into the pits. Yeah, I think it's interesting now. I'm not quite sure why Calvin went out of the race. I was really distracted, really, by my dog, who's decided to return, annoyingly enough. No. I do apologise about this. Totally unprofessional there. I'm sorry. But we are back now, and he won't be coming back because I shut the door. However, Jerome on Killer Brent. Still trying to get past, no matter how much Brent shuts the door on Jerome. Look how close though. Savinio gets tantalisingly close along the straight, but every lap he just can't quite make it. He's ever so slightly behind Nuffle when the braking zone arrives. Now, I think Nuffle must be running lower wings, because he must just have a bit more pace on those straights. And this is quite a downforce heavy circuit as well, which is quite interesting overall. Anyway, yes, we're 2/3 of the way through the Grand Prix now, and the cup is 2/3 empty. I know it's like something's happened in Division 1. Paulus obviously not happy about that. Chris not happy in Division 1 though. But yeah, it's looking to be quite a little bit misty around this track right now. As once more we'll ride on board with Savinio. He's got a fantastic run. He's going to move to the inside. Get it done under braking. Yes, he does. What a move there. Can he hold on to it? That is the next question we're going to be asking. Nuffle Bessie will have DRS as we go back onto the straight. Skeletor Star with a 3-second time penalty as we head back along the straight now. down the inside. Nuffle Bessie has a look, but it's not going to be enough. Remember, Sabinio just needs to take it to the line. That's all he needs to do. As long as he scores some points and Nuffle Bessie doesn't win, Sabinio will be fine. However, that's easier said than done when you're in a battle. You want to avoid contact. But yeah, that was absolutely fantastic. He'd been building up to that for a few laps, definitely. He just had a brilliant gain of speed out of Junsao, which is where we're heading through now. Just here. He must have had a fantastic exit because he closed up extremely rapidly. Actually clutched that position. Now, can Nuffle get it back? That is the next question. He's closing up quite quickly with the DRS and Slipstream to help him. It's not going to be enough though. And he's going to continue. Now, Jerome, he's gone on to the sauce, maybe going for the fastest lap. But remember, Invisible has currently got the fastest lap, I believe. Which is the 1:08.0, unless that's changed in more recent times, which is very possible. As look at this, Nuffle Bessie down the inside. There's contact between both of them. That was a dive bomb from a Stuka there. I'm not quite sure. I think he forgot to brake, to be honest, because that was a really late lunge. And obviously it hasn't worked. Fortunately, neither of them are out, and I don't think either of them sustained damage either. But yeah, Nuffle does definitely want that win, you can tell, as Jordan, on those fresh softs, which we saw him strap on, has set the new fastest lap so far. Going to get that extra point. Remember, in this league, you don't have to just be in the top 10. You can be anywhere to get the fastest lap point come the end of the race. I think that's what a couple of the drivers are doing. Drone, he's not really fighting anyone in front. He has got Storm behind him, though. The Storm's on worn mediums, and he's on fresh soft, so that gap shouldn't be too much of an issue, and it's already increasing. One Xavier there with a time penalty as well, as we're on lap 27 of 36, just 10 laps to go. And so far, what a fantastic Grand Prix it has been. Number 79 versus number 69. Civi with a 3-second time penalty there. Bit of oversteer. That was a bit of a snap there for the McLaren. He did manage to catch it though, and nothing bad is going to come of it. And I noticed on the timing boards that this is actually the closest battle on the track as well, which is always nice to see. It's always nice to see the top guys having a bit of a tussle for the top step. And it looks like, under the current circumstances anyway, Sabinio is going to be taking it. Killer Brent, though, could take that bottom step. He looks to be relatively clear of Otapa, and the other guys are kind of clear of him, so I think it's looking like Killer Brent's going to get third. However, I don't want to jinx anything, as Drone does get time penalty, and also time penalties are something that will have to be taken into account at the end of the Grand Prix. But Nuffle is still quite close behind Sabinio, as we do head along the straight once again. 9 laps to go. The laps are counting down. The end of the Grand Prix is going to come soon. Sabinio obviously wanting it to come sooner than ever, whereas Nuffle Bessie needs as much time as he can get to try and reclaim that top spot on the timing boards. And Invisible overtakes his teammate Oslapper. Now that could be quite interesting. Invisible, sorry, he's on tyres that are half the age of all three in front of him. They're also softer as well. He's on the mediums, they're all on the hards. He's got to make up 6 or so seconds. He's basically got to make up as many seconds as there are laps left in the Grand Prix. It could be possible. He's on those softer tyres. He's going to have more grip. They're fresher as well. He could really, and we saw how well he could go with those soft tyres at the beginning. That's a variable which we weren't thinking of a moment ago, but he could really be on for a decent finish here. He could go for the podium. He could really challenge Killer Brent there. So as I said, it's definitely not set in stone quite yet, and it won't be until the fat lady sings, whereas in this case, the checkered flag is waved. by some celebrity who they have decided will be waving it this week. Paulus already making his incident report then. Clearly not happy about what happened. We'll have to wait and see what that has at the end of the race. And of course, that could affect championship finishing. So remember, when we hit the checkered flag tonight, that is not definitely going to be the end of the championship battles, as it were. We've still got a fair amount of time to go, as we have 7 laps left. Invisible doesn't seem to be making up too much time, but Killer Brent's definitely losing some time here. And look at this! Nuffle Bessie back down the inside into turn 1. Can Sabinio get it back? They touch tyres. But no, Nuffle Bessie retakes the lead here at Sao Paulo. Can Sabinio try and get it back along the straight? Can he go for a Nuffle Bessie type dive bomb? No, he won't. Civi with another time penalty. Remember though, Nuffle Bessie does have that penalty, so this may not be the end of the world for Sabinio quite yet. Well, I'm sure he will be wanting to get to that checkered flag still soon as possible. Hold on a second, I've got to reopen the stream. I accidentally closed it. Oh no. Here we go. Yeah, look at that. Nuffle Bessie back into the lead again. Yeah, I know. Sabinio. Well, if you were winning the championship, you'd want to try and take the win for the final Grand Prix. However, of course, if Sabinio doesn't finish and Nuffle finishes on the top step, that will be the winner of the championship for Nuffle Bessie. So it's going to have to be calculated. He doesn't want to take too many risks, but once again, they're racing drivers. Maybe he doesn't know. I mean, that's a fair point, but you'd have thought he would have maybe had a look at the championship standings. But he's going to have a crack at it once more. Running out of time, though. And anyway, the time penalties, once again, Sabinio's in a good position as he does have another look. The time penalties could be the decider here. He could still win. If I have a quick look now, Sabinio, he's still on that 1 warning. Nuffle is on that 1 penalty as well. So Sabinio's still going to win if it stays as it is. He really doesn't need to go on the attack, and in fact, I would advise against it if I were him. Okay, Jab has made a mistake there. Yeah, maybe he doesn't, but that is true. I'm not sure if you can get the race engineer to ask about penalties, because surely if you ask car in front and Jeff says... surely Jeff says that they have a time penalty. I don't know, though. I clearly haven't been racing. I've hardly played this game, to be honest. I'm just here for the ride. As you can tell, we have 4.5 laps to go. Not long left, though. Sabinio on course to win the Grand Prix and the World Championship, or the Sprint Championship. Skeletal Star there with another time penalty, looking to struggle a bit. He's in 9th place. His teammate, though, is out of the race. Skeletal Star on those softs, he's going to have to pull Invisible and get him to go 14 laps, so not quite as much as Invisible, but still a fair distance. Yeah, maybe Sabinio hasn't asked yet, but it's fair enough. But yeah, look at this. Sabinio is having a move. He looks to be catching up quite quickly on Nuffle. He has the DRS. Lewis might have just bottled D1. Oh dear. That doesn't sound like good news. I don't blame you, Chab. But here we go then. Sabinio trying to go for the lead. Nuffle Bessie really weaving all over the place, trying to block that door. As we enter the last 4 laps of the Grand Prix. Really not long to go now. Just over 10 kilometres till that checkered flag is waved. Nuffle defending for his life on track. Look how We've got Killer Brent. He's caught up rapidly. Invisible as well. There's yellow flags in Sector 3. I don't know why that is, but this is getting very dramatic now. Invisible on those mediums is going to be posing an absolutely almighty threat to Killer Brent. And that battle ahead has caused them both to catch up rapidly with Sabinio and Nuffle Bessie. With just 3 laps to go though, can Invisible get onto the podium? Will penalties have anything to say? Sabinio though, he's closing up on Nuffle Bessie. He moves to the inside with the DRS. Can he get the position on the 3rd last lap of the Grand Prix? Yes, he does. But can Nuffle Bessie get it back? We'll ride on board with the McLaren driver. Sabinio in the lead of the race once again. And it looks to stay that way for now as they head onto the straights. Nuffle Bessie does have the DRS. Sabinio, though, looks to be safe from that threat for this lap. Invincible. Well, he hasn't crashed, to be fair. Well, not the whole season, but this race anyway. But yeah, Invisible definitely closing up. I mean, Killer Brent as well. We're really closing up as well. So these two battling has definitely given those guys behind the lead they need to start catching up. That is really interesting, although I'm not sure where the point that their hards being really worn. The hards with their lower tire wear crosses with the mediums and their higher tire wear in terms of speed, if you understand what I mean. When the soft is quicker up to a point where it gets too warm, and harder so up to a point where it's not as worn as the mediums. So that's what I mean. I wonder if those mediums are still faster than the hards. They should be at this point. But we'll wait and see. I mean, Storm's taking his 20 laps, so there's really got a bit of life left in them. They'll definitely take it to the end. But as we go onto the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix, Sabinio, the championship leader, is leading the pack around as we head towards the end of the Grand Prix. Will Invisible get that position off Killer Brent? They are very, very close. However, Invisible can't quite get that position. Brent could be on course for a podium. However, penalties will have a big say in that. And in fact, Nuffle Bessie with his 3 seconds of penalties could mean Invisible get the position. There's yellow flags though in Sector 2. I don't know what the cause of that is though. It doesn't seem to be all too clear. Civi though with the fastest lap, so he's clearly making something out of the very abysmal race, to be honest, that he's had. It has just not been very successful for him. But yeah, Invisible, he was close behind the Killer Brent a moment ago. That gap was down to just 1/10 of a second. Nuffle Bessie going for the later apex. He's not had as good an exit as Sabinio, which means Sabinio is going to take the lead as we head onto the very last lap of the Grand Prix. Can Nuffle Bessie get the position? He's closing up like an Exocet missile. Still not quick enough though. Maybe the chaff being deployed from the back of that Toro Rosso. And we're getting into a lot of aeroplane talk tonight, which is, I don't really know why. United Bosnia though, being driven by the AI, he's going to move out of the way. But we are on the final lap of the Grand Prix as Nuffle Bessie gets very close to the back of Sabinio. He's getting quite desperate now. He really wants this win. Invisible has got past Killer Brent. He's in 3 seconds of Nuffle Bessie. Will it be enough? Will Invisible manage to clinch a second place maybe? At the end of this Grand Prix, we are on the final lap though, as Sabinio heads into the final sector for the final time this evening. We've already head out of Pinarino, my favourite turn on the track, down the hill then, towards the very last braking zone. Can we see a Pierre Gasly, Lewis Hamilton moment through Yunsao onto the main straight for the final time? Sabinio is going to lead us towards the line. The checkered flag is being waved. And it's going to be the win there for the Toro Rosso driver, who takes the World Championship, followed closely by Nuffle Bessie, who is overtaken by Invisible on time penalties. Killer Brent there across the line goes Otapa 8, Jerome and TTG Storm following close behind. Jerome on that Haas. And of course, Civi has the fastest lap as well. TTG Storm not too far behind. He's got Niels right behind him as they ride towards the line. They are oh so close. Niels closing up very, very closely as there's a bit of a shunt there at the end. Skeletor Star finishing in 9th place. We've got Jordan, JT and one Xavier, the two Williams coming out here. GG's the video. Yeah, he did well. That's a shame, Brent. That is a real shame. But here is Jordan, JT across the line, and the last driver will be one Xavier, who's just heading towards Yunsao now. But yeah, well done, Sabinio, the world champion. Nuffle put up an excellent fight though. That was a really entertaining race to watch. Reckless, very unfortunate to be honest, having been taken out earlier in the race, because that really would have added another spice into the mix. But this is your Intelligence Racing League World Champion, Sabinho. And as if on cue, my glass is empty. But there we go, Sabinho on the top step. He's going to be absolutely elated. There he is, very happy. What a season. Even though it was only 7 rounds, it was just a fantastic season. Every race was enjoyable to watch, even though I missed last week. It was great to be here. And yeah, just congratulations to the guys there. Invisible really coming with a comeback. He decided not to pit under the safety car. It looked like it worked out pretty well for him, because he managed to clinch that 2nd position. But the finishing order is as follows. It's going to be Sabinho, the world champion, followed by Invisible, with Nuffle Bessie rounding off the podium. Then Killer Brent, Otapa 8, Jerome 13th of the 9th, 1997. TTG Storm 72. INL Niels, Skeletor Star Jordan JT1, Xavier, and United Bosnia, followed by Original Civi, the DNS, where Frosty Calvin and Alt Maverick, both Renault drivers. Then Paulus and Reckless. But let's invite these top guys to the party for the post-race interviews, post-season interviews, the podium interviews. There we go, I've sent one to Sabinho. I don't know if I've got any of them on my friends list, so I shall try and invite them anyway. Do I have Invisible? No, it doesn't look like I do, so it'd be nice if they didn't leave, but we'll invite Nuffle Bessie as well, who finished 2nd in the championship. And what a championship it was. I just need to invite Invisible as well. If you just bear with me 2 seconds, and we'll get underway with the podium interviews straight afterwards. I can't remember his game attack, so I know it's got Invisible in it, obviously, but 17, 10, 15. Yes, that's the one. Welcome, Nuffle.
Hi.
We'll start with you then, seeing as you're first in the party. How do you feel that race went?
Well, race was quite good, I think. I mean, I'm third because of the penalty, but yeah, it was a fun race. A lot of tactics in the race, a lot of driving tactics instead of fast driving, but yeah, it was fun to do.
And how about the championship then? Happy where you finished? Would you have liked to win?
I think I think it's at the end is the right place where I finished. But Sabinho, you have background noises. Thanks. It's deserved where I finished, but if I can work, if I had more consistency, I would have won the championship, I think. So I need to work on that next season, but I'm gonna try that, and I'm going to come back stronger, as they say.
I mean,
but
congratulations.
Yeah, it's deserved for Sabinho. He drove very consistent all season. So
thanks, mate. GG.
Yeah, GG. We were doing nice tactics. We're trying to overtake each other. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, true.
We'll move on to you then, Sabinho.
Yes.
We'll start with the race. How do you think that went?
First of all, I was in the beginning. I thought I was nowhere near their pace because Nuffle and Reckless were having the battles up front, and I was just staying behind. So I thought I was gonna be up for P3, maybe P4, because Storm was also pretty fast. and then there was a bit of contact between Nuffle and Reckless, and that allowed me to catch up again. So I just stayed in the DRS of Nuffle. A lot of tactics there going on. Yeah, it was just staying in the DRS and getting ready for the end of the race, and then I got past, and yeah, I got the win. So very good driving. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And then on to the championship. You happy about it?
I'm so happy, mate. For real. Of course, to end the season on a high as well, because yeah, I've been on the podium every race now, so really happy of that. It's a pretty nice achievement, I think. So yeah, I'm really happy.
Your consistency was alien, man, this season.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it was. Thanks, man.
Alright then. I don't. Wait, is Invisible in? No, alright then. I think.
Your choice of podium.
No.
I think we'll end it there then. Congratulations, Savinio. Congratulations, Nuffle.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the race. I hope you enjoyed the season. But I will see you next time. Goodbye.